Hello, everybody. This is Ray Hutchins and Mitch Tannenbaum of CyberSecurity LLC, a full-service cybersecurity company in Denver, Colorado. We're having a discussion this morning. Mitch and I were having a discussion this morning about Microsoft's Azure Sentinel SIM product cloud SIM product that they announced today. And we thought this would be worth recording. Other people may benefit from it. And so we thought we'd do that real quick. So I'm one of the partners in the company. Mitch is the other partner. Mitch, why don't you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mitch Tannenbaum, and as Ray said, partner in cybersecurity. And my background includes building and running data centers, managing software development teams, and information security teams.
Right, and so our company is CyberSecurity LLC, with the security spelled with the C. I'll put a graphic up on the screen. Anyway, we're going to have this discussion. So this discussion started when we saw the announcement from Microsoft about the launch of this product. And so we both watched the videos on it. Now, in our business, our cybersecurity business, we have various customers who, because of regulatory requirements and the fact that they're trying to build out their cybersecurity programs, they need a good SIM product that they can afford and that they can work with. Our customers, while we have a couple of billion-dollar clients, billion-dollar in revenue type clients, most of them are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And these people just don't have a lot of money to build socks and stuff like that. So they're looking for a good SIM product, but it has the requirement that not only does it monitor the logs on your own premises, servers and whatnot, but you've got everyone's doing business in the cloud. So you've got all these cloud SaaS providers, and they've got your data too, and you've got to have some monitoring going on of those things, which is what the Azure Sentinel product claims that it does.
So let's take a step back here, Ray.
Okay.
The problem that businesses are trying to solve is that they need to be able to quickly detect the inroads being made by an attacker. In order to do that, you really need two pieces of the equation. You need some sort of SIM product. That product allows you to go collect data. And then you need a security operations center, which is an organization which is going to go off and take that data, take the alerts that first product generates, and operate on them. So you've got really two issues here.
Well, actually, you got to collect the logs, right? Then you got to analyze which of those alerts are important and which aren't. And
which is typically what the SIM product is going to do for you.
The SIM product does. But Microsoft is saying, with their artificial intelligence, they got this wired. They're really doing a good job. Okay, great. We're waiting on that. Then you've got to have, once you get the alert, someone's got to go fix something, right?
Right, and that's got to be 24/7, 365, and those people need to be able to understand your organization, how you're using the various software products you're using, and be able to react. That means you need to be able to understand how to administrate the various platforms and such. So the Security Operations Center is a big investment, and a lot of organizations outsource it. Up until now, that's been very expensive, and it's not clear exactly how much of that SOC functionality Microsoft plans to add with this new Azure capability. We shall see, but they may have the first part, and that's good by itself. So the challenge, as Ray said, that most organizations are dealing with right now is they don't have a homogeneous environment. Now, Microsoft would love for you to be a 100% Microsoft shop and only use Microsoft products, but that's not realistic. Nobody does that.
Let's say right now we're going to talk about our customers who basically are Microsoft shops. So forget that other situation.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Think about our mortgage customers. Our mortgage customers use a loan origination system. They use lead management systems. They use marketing systems.
That's the third party. That's the cloud environment, right? That Microsoft says they've got that covered, right?
Maybe, we don't know.
Okay,
according to the announcement, there are 4 or 5 cloud products out of the universe of tens of thousands that they have identified. Now,
right.
Whether they're going to add more or whether other cloud providers, SaaS providers, who are competitors of Microsoft. Whether they're going to go off and integrate with the Microsoft environment, I think that's going to be determined based on client demand. But right now, it's pretty much a pure Microsoft environment, and maybe the ability to go off and integrate your on-premise servers if they are Microsoft running Microsoft operating systems, which most people are running Microsoft Windows. Most of our clients, obviously, there's a huge Linux base out there, but most of our clients are running Microsoft products in the environment. But maybe this deals with a piece of the equation, but doesn't deal with the whole equation. Now, the challenge for those of our guys that are regulated, they need to be able to get all of that client data. So, let's say that client data is sitting in, some competitor's cloud, like the Oracle cloud or some other cloud. That may or may not be easy to get.
That could be a problem, for sure. But if you have a client that's basically Microsoft operation, and they're using 365 products and whatnot, they say there's free migration of all that data. Okay, so you can get that taken care of. These connectors, supposedly these connectors to these SaaS providers, that Microsoft's got a way, apparently, that if they follow this particular standard, that can be handled quickly, so that you can spin that up quickly, so that you can get those cloud applications connected to this system. And
right. And what we don't know is
pretty automated, so that maybe you can have someone internally trained up on this thing. And maybe, I'm just going, because Microsoft's not saying how much this thing costs, right? It's free right now. Anyone can sign for free. They don't have any pricing out there. So you spin up, you learn how to do it, but then what? The price is just the same as everybody else out there. Well, then that's not going to work, because we've got people who can't pay for these other SIM solutions, but they desperately need a SIM solution that they can afford and that will handle their world and let them be in compliance with things like the New York Department of Financial Services regulation and these other compliance regulations. They've got to monitor their logs, and right now they can't.
So the real question for organizations as they read this Azure Sentinel announcement is, do I want to be an early adopter? Do I want to be one of those organizations that's going to go eat the dog food that Microsoft puts out, hope that this gets adopted by other organizations? Obviously, the Amazons and Googles of the world are going to view this as a competitor, and whether they will adopt it or whether they will go fight and create another product, that's not clear. And we don't know what the pricing is. What we're seeing, even for a modest deployment of product servers, we're seeing prices out in the market of $5,000 a month and higher, which is $50,000–$60,000 a year. And that, for most organizations, the smaller organizations of hundreds of employees, that's not something that budget.
You can't do it, right? But if you can get it down to 15,000, a year, all right. I mean, you got something. That's what we've been looking for, and we've been getting SIM demonstrations and talking to people and this, that, and the other, but we're just not finding it. And so this is why we were interested in this. So
what we don't know, though, is this whole third-party cloud problem, and that's where even the guys that are charging $50,000 or $100,000 a year, they don't have a good answer for how you integrate that third-party cloud product into the world.
No, the conversation ends, and that's what interested us about this thing. Maybe these guys are figuring this thing out, figuring this need out. And Mitch mentioned earlier that he was assuming now that AWS and Google would compete with this pretty quickly, which would be great. If we could have the three great monopolies out there fighting over this, that would be great. That would help all of us little people.
I mean, that's important to understand, right? If Microsoft, there's a couple things that can happen, right? If Microsoft comes out with a price, which they will eventually, then and the price is significantly less than what other folks are charging for a cloud-based SIM, then ignoring the Googles and the Amazons for a moment, that's going to force a market shift by itself, right? If Microsoft charges, let's say, $15,000 a year for a product which is functionally similar to a product which other people are charging $50,000 a year, it's going to be very hard for those folks to continue to charge $50,000 a year. That works.
Be a game changer. Be a game changer.
Works, definitely works in the consumer's advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the Microsoft product winds up being a standard that is adopted by a lot of organizations, don't know whether it is, then that's another good thing for consumers, because now you got something that's a rallying cry. You as a consumer can go to your vendor, your various private cloud vendors, whether it's your leads marketing vendor, or whether it's your compliance vendor, or whatever the vendor is, and say, I want you to go support this integration standard. Right now, as I said, Microsoft on the video listed like 4 or 5 vendors, and if I recall, none of them were really mainstream vendors. So, they've got a few people who they've done integration with. How hard is it? Let's assume that you as a business, we call consumers, but we mean consumers of SIM services. Let's say you as a business go off and decide to go adopt this thing. Are you going to need to hire expensive third-party services to go off and do the integration with every different cloud vendor that you have and every different cloud product that you have? Or is that something you're going to be able to do yourself? We don't know that yet. If it does require third-party integration services, okay, what do they charge? Maybe they say, gee, I can do this in 3 or 4 hours, so I'm going to charge you $1,000 for it. Well, $1,000 to get a product integrated, one-time charge, not bad. That's probably affordable for most organizations. I mean, nobody wants to spend money, but the alternative is having internal resources. So, assuming that you go off and do have the ability to go off and do that, then that is it. But the fact that Microsoft hasn't released pricing yet is an interesting marketing strategy, which I don't exactly understand.
So, okay, we don't want to make this video too long, but there's some high-level responses, questions, thoughts from a couple of cybersecurity guys who are highly interested in this particular product and this solution, and hoping that somebody with Microsoft, anybody, comes up with a solution, because we've got customers who desperately need it. And so we hope you found this to be interesting, and Microsoft, hope you take a look at this. And and that maybe if we've missed some stuff, let us know. Please comment on the video and let us know. Give people links to more information. That'd be great. Mitch, any final comments?
I don't. I think this is wonderful for the users, though.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.